What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 347 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Today, I want to talk to you about Batman, The Gates of Gotham. This is a 5-issue miniseries, and this trade paperback also collects an annual from Batman and Detective Comics. And this book is by Scott Snyder, Kyle Higgins, Trevor McCarthy, and Ryan Perrott. There's also some other artists who are involved: Dustin Nguyen, if I'm pronouncing that right, Graham Nolan, and Derek Donovan. And a lot of people talk about Scott Snyder as being one of the best Batman writers, but a lot of people tend to ignore the Gates of Gotham miniseries, and I don't really know why. I have a couple of theories. One of them, this came out just before the New 52 started, and a lot of people, whenever they talk about Snyder's Batman stuff, they talk about the Court of Owls forward. They don't really talk about the Black Mirror or the Gates of Gotham. So maybe people just aren't aware that this is a thing. Maybe when people talk about Snyder's Batman stuff, they're just talking about his ongoing Batman stuff starting with the New 52, and it's also possible that because Snyder was only plotting this book and Kyle Higgins was actually doing the dialogue with Trevor McCarthy, because of that, maybe people don't consider this to be a truly part of Snyder's Batman run. I don't know. I actually like this story quite a bit. Now, I am not as in love with Snyder's Batman stuff as a lot of people are, so I don't know if the people who are head over heels in love with his Batman run are going to like this as much as I liked it, but I thought it was a pretty good story. The basic plot here is that we have a new villain. He's here on the cover, this guy who's jumping towards Batman, and he is connected to the Gates brothers who built Gotham City. Right around the turn of the Industrial Revolution, the two Gates brothers, they basically oversaw the building of Gotham and turning it from a small little village into an actual city. And these guys, they were connected to the other four families of Gotham. There were the five families of Gotham. I do not remember all of them. There were the Waynes, the Cobblepots, the Gateses, the Elliots, like Tommy Elliott from Hush, and I cannot remember the last family. I'm thinking maybe the Arkhams, but I don't think that that's right, so I don't remember the fifth family of Gotham, but there were the five families of Gotham, and they were all the most important families. I'm wondering if the Kanes, like Kathy Kane, I wonder if they were one of the families. I don't remember, but anyway, there were five families. They were all the most important families of Gotham, and the Gateses, they kind of felt betrayed by the other families because they were not as independently wealthy as the other four families, and this guy is actually connected to the Gates brothers, and it's a really cool story of legacy. We get to see how the Waynes have affected Gotham throughout the generations, and how some of these other characters and their families have also affected Gotham. And it's a cool story because Bruce's ancestors are not necessarily good people. Sometimes, under any other author, I feel like Bruce's ancestors would have to be the good guys in a story, but I like that they're not. I like that they are involved in this backstabbing just as much as the Elliots and the Cobblepots are. I think that that's very refreshing. Also, one thing that I don't think works about this story as much as I think it should is that Dick Grayson is Batman at this time. Now, I am not one of those people who gets really upset whenever Bruce Wayne stops being Batman. A lot of people think that Bruce Wayne is the only person who can be Batman. I am not one of those people. I think that under the right circumstances, other people can be Batman. That's because whenever I was first getting into Batman, I really was kind of coming in off of the Nolan Batman movies. I did grow up on the animated series and the Burton Schumacher movies, but really what made me a Batman fan was Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and those movies are very much about Bruce Wayne being Batman for a limited amount of time. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with other people filling the role of Batman for a period of time. And Dick Grayson is Batman in this story. The problem that I have with it here specifically is that this is about Bruce's family and how they're connected to the Gateses. And I feel like this story would have been thematically a little bit more sound if Bruce was Batman in this story. The problem is Dick is Batman in this story, so it doesn't work as well. Dick Grayson is being Batman, and he's fighting this guy who is connected to the Gates brothers, but he is not connected to the Wayne family as much as Bruce Wayne is himself. Yes, Dick Grayson is Batman's surrogate son, maybe his adopted son. I don't know if they ever made it official, but that's not the same thing as Bruce Wayne actually being descended from the Waynes who betrayed the Gateses. So I feel like this story would have been a little bit better if Bruce had been Batman in this story, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. I still think that this is a very good story. I like getting to see the interactions between the Bat family here. I thought that it was very fun getting to see them do different stuff with the particular dynamic that we have here with Dick Grayson being in charge. So even though I think that this would have worked better with Bruce's Batman, I still like to see Dick Grayson kind of giving orders to Jason and Damian and Cassandra Cain. She's here. I love Cassandra Cain. So I think this is a pretty good story. If you're one of those people, you really love Scott Snyder's Batman stuff, but you haven't read the story, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and read read this. I think that it's very much worth your time. So those are my thoughts on the Gates of Gotham. I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back tomorrow with a different video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.